My dad said skip the reunion. My sister's senator boyfriend would be there. Then they found my seat. I still remember the exact moment the text came in. I was sitting in my tiny apartment in Seattle, eating leftover pasta straight out of the container and finishing a project proposal for a client when my phone buzzed. Dad. We didn't talk often, so my first instinct was that something had happened. Maybe Mom was sick. Maybe Grandma. My stomach tightened as I opened the message. But instead of an emergency, the text read, "You might want to skip the family reunion this year. Your sister's boyfriend will be there. He's a senator now. We don't want any awkward situations." I stared at the screen. For a moment, I thought maybe I had misunderstood. So I read it again. Then again. Nope. That was exactly what it said. Skip the reunion. Because Emily's boyfriend was a senator. And apparently, my presence would somehow be embarrassing. I leaned back in my chair and laughed. Not the funny kind of laugh. The bitter kind. Because honestly, I wasn't surprised. Emily had always been the golden child. And I had always been, well, the other one. Growing up in Emily's shadow. My sister Emily was 2 years older than me. But if you asked my parents, she might as well have been the only child. Emily was perfect. Perfect grades. Perfect smile. Perfect life. She was captain of the cheer team, prom queen, and the girl teachers described as going places. Meanwhile, I was the quiet one who spent lunch in the library reading business magazines and sketching ideas for things I wanted to build someday. I didn't hate Emily, but growing up next to her felt like living beside a spotlight. Because wherever she stood, the light followed, and everyone else faded into the background, including me. The day everything changed. The real break between me and my family happened 6 years ago. At Emily's college graduation party. She had just graduated from Georgetown with honors, and my parents threw her a huge celebration in our hometown in Virginia. The backyard was full of people. Neighbors. Family friends. Former teachers. And of course, Emily, standing in the center of everything like the star of the show. At some point, someone asked what I was doing with my life. I had just dropped out of my second year of college. Not because I was lazy. Because I was starting a company. But try explaining that to people who think success only comes with a diploma. Before I could answer, Dad said it for me. He laughed and waved his drink. Oh, her, she's still trying to figure things out. The crowd chuckled politely. Emily smiled sympathetically. And something inside me snapped. Because I had spent 2 years working every night on a software idea I believed in. 2 years of coding. 2 years of learning. 2 years of building something from nothing. And to him, I was just the daughter, figuring things out. That night, I packed a suitcase. The next morning, I moved across the country. And except for occasional holiday texts, I never really went back. Building a life no one expected. The first year in Seattle was brutal. I slept on a friend's couch, worked part-time jobs, and spent every spare minute finishing my product. It was a small AI-based logistics tool designed to help shipping companies optimize routes. Nothing glamorous, but incredibly useful. For months, no one cared. Then one day, someone did. A mid-size logistics firm tried it. They loved it. Then another company signed on. Then another. Within 3 years, my little startup had grown into something real. We had an office, employees, investors, and contracts with several major companies. But my parents didn't know any of that. Not really. Because they never asked. Back to the text message. I looked at my phone again. Skip the reunion. I could picture Dad typing it. probably sitting in his recliner like always, thinking he was being practical, protecting the family's reputation. Because Emily's boyfriend was now Senator Daniel Brooks. Yes, that Daniel Brooks, the youngest senator elected in our state, media darling, future presidential hopeful, and apparently the reason I wasn't welcome at my own family reunion. I typed a reply, then deleted it. Typed again, deleted again. Finally, I just wrote, "Thanks for letting me know," and hit send. The invitation that changed everything. 2 days later, I got another message. But this time, it wasn't from Dad. It was from my cousin Jake. "Hey, are you coming to the reunion this weekend?" I hesitated, then replied honestly. "Dad said I should skip it." Jake responded almost instantly. "What, why?" I told him. There was a long pause. Then he sent back 3 words. "That's ridiculous, come." I smiled. Jake had always been the one relative who treated me normally. Then he added something else. "Also, you should probably know something." "Know what?" "The reunion is being held at the Harbor Grand Hotel." I frowned. That was weird. The Harbor Grand wasn't just a hotel. It was one of the most exclusive venues in the city. "Why there?" I asked. Jake replied, "Because the owner reserved the ballroom for the event." I blinked. "And?" Jake typed back slowly, "The owner wants to meet you." The truth no one in my family knew. 3 months earlier, my company had quietly acquired a majority stake in the Harbor Grand. The deal had been part of a larger investment strategy. Hotels were integrating smart logistics systems for supply chains, and our software fit perfectly. Most people didn't know about it yet. The acquisition had been handled through our investment group. Meaning, my name wasn't publicly attached, except to the hotel's executive team, including the manager who had organized the reunion reservation, and apparently told my cousin Jake, which meant something funny was about to happen, because my family thought I was the embarrassment who should stay home. But the reunion was literally happening inside one of my company's properties. I stared at the phone. Then I started laughing again. This time, it was the good kind. Decision time. Saturday morning arrived faster than expected. I stood in front of my closet, wondering what to wear. Not because I wanted to impress anyone, but because I didn't want to look like I was trying too hard either. Eventually, I chose something simple. Black dress, minimal jewelry, comfortable heels, professional, confident, normal. The drive to the Harbor Grand took 20 minutes. As the building came into view, sunlight reflected off the glass towers overlooking the harbor. It looked exactly the same as the day we finalized the purchase. Except today, I was arriving as a guest. Sort of. I parked the car and stepped inside. The lobby manager spotted me instantly. He hurried over with a huge smile. "Ms. Carter, welcome back." I quickly motioned for him to lower his voice. "Please, today I'm just another guest." He nodded. "Of course." Then he added quietly, "Your family has already arrived." Of course they had. And if Dad had his way, they thought I wasn't coming. Perfect. The moment before the storm, I walked toward the ballroom. Through the large double doors, I could see dozens of familiar faces. Aunts, uncles, cousins, people I hadn't seen in years. And near the center of the room, Emily, standing beside a tall man in a navy suit. Senator Daniel Brooks. People surrounded them like they were royalty. Laughing, listening, admiring. Exactly the way they always had with Emily. I took a slow breath, then stepped inside. At first, no one noticed. But then someone did. My Aunt Carol's eyes widened. "Is that?" Whispers spread. Heads turned. And suddenly, my entire family realized something shocking. I hadn't skipped the reunion. I had shown up. And in about 5 minutes, they were all about to find out something even bigger. Because when the seating cards were revealed, my name wasn't just on the guest list. It was at the head table,